In 2023, among all the uncertainty of the U.S. housing market, new construction has been a primary catalyst for keeping the housing industry moving forward. Most people, if they've owned their home even for 2 years, are sitting on around 3% interest rate. And if they were to sell and move on to something else with a mortgage, they'd be looking at over 6, over double what they have right now. So unless people absolutely have to move, they're just not doing it. New construction is different. Builders aren't in the business of holding on to homes. They sell homes. So they've been coming up with creative ways to continue inventory moving along. If you watch any of my videos, you know that lately I've been focusing a lot on new construction and some of the great opportunities there are to buy a new house. And they make it easy for you. You're going to be able to go to a showroom or a model home where you can envision what your home is going to look like. There'll be a friendly sales consultant there that'll walk you through everything and make it a fun experience. The question is, should someone looking at purchasing a new home have representation, have a realtor? Because I am a realtor, you can probably guess what my answer is going to be to that question. But stick around, hear some of the reasoning behind it and see if it makes sense to you. Stay tuned. What's up, everyone? It's Jeff with Jeff West Properties, your host for the Conroe Living Channel, where we identify and celebrate everything that makes Conroe, Texas, one of the fastest growing cities in
America.
In today's video, I want to give 5 reasons why it's in your best interest to work with a realtor when you are looking at building or purchasing a new construction home. Before I get to that list, I want to clear up a misconception that a lot of people have about what a realtor is and what a realtor does. A lot of people would put realtors into the sales category or sales profession. And the reality is that's not really a lot of what we do. In fact, most of what we do as buyer's agents, for instance, is consulting. Our only real sales job is to sell ourselves and our services to potential clients. And from that point on, our primary role is to be an advisor, is to be a consultant. Our job is to help people navigate all of the little details that go into purchasing a new home to help our clients make the most informed decisions and ultimately the best decisions for them and their family when purchasing a home. Now, some people would argue that when we list houses, when we have houses for sale, that's a sales category. And honestly, that's not really the case either. Our first role, again, is to advise people how to make their house as attractive as possible. And from that point, we go on to market the property. And though sales and marketing go hand in hand, they really are 2 different things. A salesman is the person at Best Buy who doesn't want you to leave the store without buying the new big screen TV. The marketer is the person who creates the commercial that makes you want that TV in the first place. Our main goal after that is to cast the house in its best light, to put it in front of as many eyes as possible, and ultimately to put it in front of the right eyes so that you find the ideal buyer for that house. As consultants, as it pertains to new construction homes, here are the 5 reasons you really want to work with a realtor when you're looking at purchasing new construction. The first thing we do as realtors is we help our clients understand the contract. One of the great things that came out of a really bad situation, the housing crisis of 2008, was in the way of reforms through something called the Dodd-Frank Act that was passed in Congress. They basically enacted laws that help protect the consumer in the housing industry. They work to make forms and contracts more easily understandable, more transparent, and as non-biased as it could be. So for instance, in the state of Texas, we all use the same form when buying or selling a house. It's the TREC 1-4 family contract. TREC is the Texas Real Estate Commission, and these forms are put together by the Legal Advisory Board of the Texas Real Estate Commission. They're designed to be non-biased, they're designed to be easily understood, and they're designed to be thorough to protect both parties. New home construction doesn't work that way. Sales contracts for new homes are not put together by the Texas Real Estate Commission. They are created by the lawyers of these builders. So I bet you can probably guess which side it tends to favor. Now, in most cases, those contracts that the builders put together, they're not real flexible with it. Every once in a while, a realtor may be able to negotiate some small points, but that's pretty rare. For the most part, the contract is going to be what the contract is. So our role then is to help our clients understand some of the pitfalls they may encounter, some of the liabilities that they have, and the protections that the builder has as well. Now, it needs to be said, I'm not a lawyer. Most brokers, most realtors are not lawyers, but we do learn a very specific part of contract law. It's part of our licensing. So we help our clients be prepared for what it is that they're signing. Another way we help our clients is to help them understand the financial requirements. Now, if you've bought or sold a resale home, maybe you're familiar with how that works. The amount of money you have to put down, what it costs for inspections, what it costs for appraisal, things like that. Now, new home construction works a little bit differently in that way as well. Most of the time, you're going to be putting more money down as a down payment, as earnest money, than you would in a resale home. Every builder is going to be a little bit different, but in general, that's the case. As well as that, if you're building a house from the ground up, most builders are going to require you to put down as much as 50% of the cost of all the upgrades you want to put into the house once the construction starts. Now, if you don't know those things, it can be a real headache for you to go through this process. And in some cases, it can even make the deal fall through, making people lose their earnest money. So a realtor is going to help you navigate and understand some of those things as well. Another thing a good realtor will do for you is help you understand the timeline. Now, in 2023, a lot of my clients have been choosing builder inventory homes, which are homes that are either already built or near completion. But traditionally, when someone goes to a builder, they're wanting to build their own home from the ground up. And there is a timeline associated with that. A builder will tell you the house will be completed by a certain date. But again, because they write the contract, in the fine print, you'll find a lot of loopholes, a lot of outs, so that they're not held liable for those deadlines. Some things are beyond the builder's control. There could be weather delays. There could be supply chain issues. It could have to do with the city inspections or city utilities. I was talking to a friend who's a new home consultant in a neighborhood near here, and they were having a nightmare because they had houses that were already completed. Their people were waiting to move in, but the city hadn't yet run the electricity. So they were just sitting there vacant, waiting on the city. And in some cases, people just canceled the deal and lost their earnest money because they had nowhere else to go and they needed to buy a house. A good realtor is going to help clients come up with a game plan so that they have flexibility and they won't be left homeless should the house not be finished when the builder says it's going to be.
So, you got no home?
Another thing that a good realtor is going to help a client do is negotiate. One of the things we're charged with as realtors is helping negotiate the best possible outcome for our clients. With resale homes, there's oftentimes a lot of different things that you can negotiate.
I want more.
But with new construction, it's a little different. You can negotiate, but you have to know where you can and can't. As a for instance, if you're building a house from the ground up, rarely, very, very rarely, will the builder actually negotiate the base price of the house. It's just going to be what it's going to be. But a good realtor knows how to find other ways to negotiate in the way of free upgrades or money towards some of the upgrades so you're not coming out of pocket for that, so you're still building equity. There are two other ways that a good realtor can negotiate with a builder in the process, and that is if you have an inventory home, which again is a home that's already been built, or a busted sale. With an inventory home, the builder doesn't have a buyer right now, and every day that that house sits on the market, they're losing money. So a good realtor knows that they have leverage to be able to negotiate the best deal for their client. On a busted deal, the same thing's true. That's where someone was building from the ground up, and for whatever reason, they walked away from the deal. So let's say you have a house that was built to the original buyer's specifications, and they've got plaid shelves or something just very buyer specific to them. Well, most people aren't going to want that house, but there is opportunity in the ugly. A good realtor is going to understand the leverage to be able to ask the builder for things like changing up the cabinets or giving a certain amount of money off for the client to redo it themselves. Builders would have you believe that there's really no room for negotiation anywhere, but a good realtor is going to understand where there's leverage and understand where they can get an even better deal for their clients. The fifth way that a good realtor will help clients is to be boots on the ground for them. In 2023, a lot of my clients are out-of-state clients purchasing new home construction. So I end up being the stand-in for them to give progress reports, let them know about things that are going on, and being the representative for them when they can't be here. The same thing's true for some of my in-town clients because maybe they work and they can't get to certain appointments that need to take place to know what's going on, and so I stand in for them as well. A good realtor can not only be a stand-in for those clients, they can also be a supervisor to make sure that the builder is staying on track.
Hurry up!
Now, in some cases, you may not need some of the help that a realtor provides. If you're a lawyer, you may have no problem understanding the contracts. If you have gone through this process before, maybe you're fully aware of the financial requirements and the timeline, things like that. If you're someone who's retired, maybe you've got all the time in the world to be at the site to look at project updates and things like that, and you don't need someone to stand in for you. Now, I'll let you in on a little secret. Sometimes the role of an agent when it comes to new home construction is pretty easy. I'm going to be honest. Not all the time. Sometimes it's incredibly difficult, but sometimes it's pretty easy. And in those cases, people may ask the question, well, then why do I even need a realtor in the process? Here's the thing. The vast majority of the time, and I got to be careful, it's not every situation, but the vast majority of the time, you as a buyer are not paying the realtor anyway. It's a free service to you, so why not have an extra person in your corner? Free! You could go directly to the sales office, and there are wonderful sales consultants. They're always friendly, they're helpful, they'll answer questions that you have. I have a lot of friends who are new home consultants, but at the end of the day, their client is the builder. They're looking out for the builder's bottom line, the builder's best interest. Why not have someone in your corner that is only looking out for you?
Nothing beats free.
Now, I'll let you in on another little secret, and realtors probably wouldn't like me saying this. I don't know that I like saying this, but my mindset is to treat people that are watching this video the same way I would treat clients, and that is as a fiduciary to help them get the best possible results. Sometimes, and this is very rare, but sometimes a builder may give you a credit if you come in without a realtor. Most of the time, it's not going to be the case. Most of the time, that money is just going to go right back into the pockets of the builder. But sometimes they'll pass that along to the potential buyer. Now, the way to find that out is not to go into the showroom. Pick up the phone and give that developer a call. Before you give them any of your information, stay anonymous and just ask them the question. If I come in without a representative, is there an incentive for me? And if they say, yeah, we'll give you $5,000 towards closing or $10,000 towards closing costs, look, if I'm in that person's shoes, I may consider that. Just taking care of everything else myself so that I get that discount. Again, it's very rare that builders are going to do that. And if they answer the question with, well, yeah, I'm sure we can do something, that's not an answer. Believe me, once they get you under contract, they won't have any incentive to help you any further. And again, they're looking out for the bottom line of the builder and making as much money for them as possible. Aside from that, there really is not a reason that a buyer would not want to use a realtor just to have another person in their corner looking out for their best interests.
This makes sense.
Now, if you've seen my videos before, you'll probably know that most of what I do with these videos is give out what I think is useful information that people are actually seeking out. And I try my very best not to make these videos look like a self-promotion. But look, I am a realtor, so it's going to be hard for this not to seem like self-promotion. But the reality is, I know that there are people all over the nation watching my videos, and I'm not there to help them in this case. So what I'm saying in this video is it's not just about me, it's about any qualified realtor being able to help people when they're looking at new construction homes. Now, I say qualified realtor, you really want to work with someone who is familiar with new home construction, is familiar with the contracts, who has relationships with the builders and the sales representatives, who understands the community, not what it is today, but what it's going to be in the future. All of those things can be a resource to help you when you're looking to purchase a house. With that being said, if you have any questions about this topic or any other topic having to do with real estate, just pick up the phone, give me a call, send me a text or email, and I'd be happy to talk with you, answer any questions that you have. I'm a relocation specialist who's helped people from around the nation and other parts of the world relocate to Texas to become proud Texans. I've helped people to get the best possible house for them and their family, and I also provide resources on where to get the best 10-gallon hats and lassos and where to find the nearest Buc-ee's. If you know, you know. If you're interested in learning more about one of the fastest growing cities in America, Conroe, Texas, make sure to subscribe to the Conroe Living Channel. Here you'll find out everything about Conroe and the greater Montgomery County area and what makes it one of the best places in the nation to live. And since you are watching a video on new construction, you can get a head start on the channel by checking out these videos of neighborhoods where they're still building new construction.